So, let's talk about the Razorfang. If you've spent any time in the Galactic community, you know the name. You flinch when you hear it. Maybe you check over your shoulder. Maybe you update your will. The Razorfang is what happens when evolution gets drunk, picks a fight, and wins. Native to Krell 9, a planet that makes Australia look like a petting zoo. This thing is basically a nightmare, wrapped in scales, dipped in acid, and given a PhD in murder. Picture this: 8 feet of pure hatred on 6 legs, with a jaw that can bite through starship hull plating. It spits acid that melts titanium. It can regenerate lost limbs in under an hour. And here's the fun part. It's smart. Pack hunting. Problem solving. Hold a grudge for 3 years smart. The Galactic Wildlife Council rates it as a Class 5 apex extinction event. There are only 7 of those in the known universe. 4 of them are on Krell 9. It's that kind of planet. The Razorfang has wiped out 3 separate colonization attempts. Not damaged. Wiped out. As in, no survivors. Send flowers to the families. Update the star charts to say, seriously, don't go here. The last expedition sent to study them never even made it out of their landing craft. The rescue team found claw marks on the emergency beacon. Claw marks. The thing was taunting them. Naturally, every species with a functioning survival instinct has added Krell 9 to their absolutely not list. The planet is quarantined, forbidden, locked down tighter than a tax collector's heart. There are 17 different treaties about staying away from it. Warning buoys in 600 languages all saying the same thing. Turn around, go literally anywhere else. We're serious. Your insurance doesn't cover this. Which brings us to Jake Morrison. Jake's a cargo hauler. Decent guy. Decent ship. Terrible luck. And right now, his nav computer is throwing up error codes like a college freshman at their first kegger. And he's got exactly one option for an emergency landing within fuel range. Guess which planet? Yeah, Krell 9. And Jake? He's never heard of it. Jake's ship, the Rusty Nickel, hits atmosphere with all the grace of a drunk penguin. Alarms are screaming. Warning lights are having a rave. His coffee is defying gravity in ways that would fascinate physicists and annoy janitors. Come on, baby. Just a little further, Jake mutters, wrestling with the controls. The ship responds by making a sound like a wounded whale, gargling gravel. But hey, any landing you can walk away from, right? He sets down in a clearing surrounded by trees that look like they're actively planning his demise. The moment he cracks the airlock, the smell hits him. Sulfur, ozone, and something that screams, bad decisions happen here. Jake wrinkles his nose and grabs his toolkit. Just gotta patch the coolant leak, run a diagnostic, maybe sacrifice a goat to the engine gods and I'm out of here. He's under the ship, elbow deep in wiring, when he hears it. A low growl that seems to vibrate through the ground itself. Jake rolls out from under the hull and stands up, wiping grease on his pants. That's when he sees Bitey. 8 feet of armored death machine. Scales like obsidian razors. Eyes that glow with an unholy red light. Teeth that could double as industrial can openers. It's doing the full intimidation display. Spine ridge flared, claws extended. Acid dripping from its fangs and sizzling on the ground. Any reasonable being would be updating their affairs and making peace with their gods right about now. Jake squints at it. Huh. You're kinda ugly cute, aren't you? The Razorfang pauses. In its entire existence, spanning 7 brutal years of apex predation, nothing has ever responded to its threat display with literary criticism. It tries again, adding more hissing and a little lunge for emphasis. Jake waves a hand dismissively. Yeah, I hear you. Look, buddy, I'm having a really bad day. Hyperspace regulators shot, coolant systems leaking, and I'm pretty sure my co-pilot's been stealing my protein bars. He pauses. I don't have a co-pilot, which makes it worse. The Razorfang tilts its head. This is not how prey behaves. Prey runs, prey screams, prey makes those delightful whimpering sounds. This weird 2-legged thing is complaining about snack theft. Jake reaches into his jacket and pulls out a sandwich. Turkey and Swiss, slightly squashed. He takes a bite. Notices the creature is still there, and shrugs. You hungry or something? He tosses the other half at the Razorfang. The apex predator of Krell 9, destroyer of colonies, nightmare of the galaxy, watches the sandwich arc through the air and land at its feet. It sniffs it, nudges it with one claw, then eats it. Jake grins. See? Not so scary. Just a big weird dog. He turns back to his ship. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do. Feel free to hang around. But don't pee on my landing gear. The Razorfang sits down. utterly baffled. In the cosmic hierarchy of confusion, this ranks somewhere between how do magnets work and why did my species ever leave the ocean? For the next 4 hours, Jake works on his ship while providing running commentary to his new audience of one. See, the problem with these J-class coolant systems is they use cheap seals. Cheap seals. On a component that operates at 1200 degrees. It's like using paper towels for oven mitts. He tightens a bolt. Corporations, am I right? The Razorfang has tried 3 more intimidation displays. Jake hasn't noticed a single one. He's too busy complaining about bulk freight rates and the price of docking fees at Proxima Station. At one point, Bitey attempts a flanking maneuver, circling around to attack from Jake's blind spot. This is a technique that has successfully taken down prey 30 times its size. Jake just assumes it's trying to see what he's doing and explains the fuel injector system in detail. Bitey lies down with something that might be a sigh if Razorfangs could sigh. "You're a good listener, you know that?" Jake says, not looking up. "My ex never let me talk about ship maintenance. Said it was boring. You know what's boring? Her opinion on ship maintenance." The Razorfang does its signature move, the acid spit. A glob of molecular dissolving death flies toward Jake's head. He leans left to grab a wrench. The acid hits the hull behind him and starts eating through 3 inches of reinforced plating. "Whoa, did you just sneeze or something?" Jake glances at the melting metal. "Huh, weird. Must be the atmospheric content." He tosses Bitey a granola bar. "Here, maybe you've got allergies." Bitey catches it, eats it, sits back down. At this point, the creature is experiencing something unprecedented in its species. Existential doubt. Is it even a predator? Maybe it's been wrong this whole time. Maybe its entire understanding of the food chain is a lie. Jake finishes the repairs and stands up, stretching. "All right, that should do it. Thanks for the company, buddy. You're way better than my last supervisor. He once wrote me up for breathing too loud." He pats the Razorfang on the head. Just pats it. The apex predator of Krell 9 freezes. Its instinct says attack. Its confusion says this creature clearly outranks it in some cosmic hierarchy it doesn't understand. Its recent experience says this weird 2-leg dispenses food and makes noise that is somehow soothing. Jake climbs into his ship, runs through his pre-flight checklist, and fires up the engines. "See you around, ugly cute dog thing." The Razorfang watches the ship lift off, watches it rise toward the atmosphere. Something in its predator brain, the part that tracks prey and calculates trajectories and never, ever gives up, makes a decision. It runs, faster than it's ever run. Hits the closing cargo ramp with a leap that would make Olympic athletes weep. Scrambles inside just as the door seals. In the cockpit, Jake is humming along to classic rock and plotting a course to his next delivery. He's completely unaware that he's just kidnapped the galaxy's most wanted murder machine. Also unaware, the 17 different alarm systems that just started screaming at spaceports across 3 sectors. Jake discovers his stowaway about 6 hours into his jump to Kepler Station. He's in the cargo hold, looking for a spare power coupling, when he finds Bitey curled up behind a stack of crates. Also, there's a puddle of something that's eaten through 2 layers of deck plating. "Oh, come on!" Jake throws his hands up. "How did you even get in here?" "You know what? Never mind. New rule. If you're gonna live on my ship, you use the designated bathroom. This is a professional operation." Bitey looks at him. Jake looks at Bitey. "Fine, you can stay. But you're paying rent and emotional support." He points a finger. "And no eating the cargo. Do you know how much paperwork I have to file when cargo goes missing?" 3 hours later, the Rusty Nickel requests docking clearance at Kepler Station. Kepler's a major hub, thousands of ships per day, 50 different species, the works. They're used to weird cargo manifests. They are not used to this. The docking controller's voice comes through tinny with panic. "Rusty Nickel, this is Kepler Control. Our bioscanners are detecting a Class 5 extinction event organism aboard your vessel. Please confirm this is a malfunction." Jake frowns at his comm. "A what now?" "A Class 5 organism. Razorfang. From Krell 9. Please tell me our sensors are broken." "Oh, you mean Bitey?" Jake glances back at the cargo hold where Bitey is chewing on an empty crate. "Yeah, he's with me. He's cool." There's a long silence. Then, "Sir, station-wide emergency protocols are now in effect. We are evacuating all non-essential personnel. Military units are being deployed. Please remain in your ship and do not, under any circumstances, open your airlock." "That seems excessive." "Excessive?" The controller's voice cracks. "Sir, Razorfangs have a 99.7% fatality rate in close encounters. There are documented cases of them breaching battle cruisers. One of them once ate through a blast door to get to a school group. A school group, sir. Jake looks at Bitey again. Bitey is now playing with a bungee cord, batting it with one massive claw. Are we talking about the same animal? Because this guy's basically a puppy. 17 minutes later, Jake's standing in the docking bay, surrounded by 30 heavily armed security officers hiding behind blast shields. The station commander, a four-armed Zentarii named Krell, is watching through a reinforced observation window. Sir, Krell's voice booms over the intercom. We need you to slowly step away from the creature. His name's Bitey. We need you to step away from Bitey. Jake shrugs and whistles. Bitey! Come here, boy. The Razorfang emerges from the ship. Every security officer simultaneously takes 3 steps back. Someone whimpers. Bitey trots over to Jake and sits, tongue lolling out. Good boy. Who's a good boy? Jake scratches behind Bitey's head spine ridge thing. Bitey leans into it, and the security officers collectively question their life choices. Now, Bitey, sit. Bitey sits. Lie down. Bitey lies down. Roll over. Bitey rolls over. All 8 feet and 6 legs of nightmare fuel doing a playful tumble that crushes a cargo dolly. See? Perfect gentleman. Now who's a good deadly apex predator? You are. Yes. You are. Krell's voice is barely a whisper. This is impossible. This defies all known xenobiology. All of it. 1 security officer faints. 2 others are crying. A 3rd is filming this on his comm because nobody back home will ever believe it. Jake stands up. So, can we get processed through customs now? I've got a delivery deadline. 48 hours later, Jake finds himself sitting in front of the Galactic Council. The entire council. All 73 member species. This is the kind of gathering usually reserved for declaring wars, or signing peace treaties, or dealing with existential threats to civilization. Jake Morrison, cargo hauler, is apparently that level of problem. Mr. Morrison, begins Counselor Thress, a dignified insectoid with way too many eyes. Do you understand why you're here? Not really, no, Jake says honestly. I filled out all my docking paperwork. Bitey's vaccinations are up to date. Well, I gave him some of my vaccines. Same thing, right? A collective shudder runs through the chamber. Thress clicks her mandibles nervously. We need to understand how you managed to domesticate a Razorfang. This creature should have killed you 17 separate times based on our analysis of your ship's internal recordings. 17 seems low, mutters another counselor. They play the footage on the main view screen. Jake watches himself approach Bitey for the first time. The council watches in horror. Jake's eating popcorn he snuck in. See, right there? Thress points with a trembling appendage. That's the full threat display. 83% of species experience fatal cardiac events from fear alone at this point. Jake shrugs. I thought he was yawning. Next clip. Bitey spitting acid. Jake dodging it by accident. And here, the Razorfang attempts to dissolve you. Oh, the sneeze thing. Yeah, I got him some allergy medication. Cleared right up. The counselor from Vexen Prime, a gelatinous blob named Gerp, wobbles forward. We've spent 3 decades studying Razorfang behavior. I personally lost my entire research team to one. My entire team. They were in a reinforced bunker. It dug through 40 feet of concrete. That's terrible, Jake says sympathetically. Did you try giving it snacks? Bitey loves snacks. Snacks? Gerp is now vibrating with emotion. It ate my colleagues and you're suggesting snacks? A human xenobiologist named Dr. Patricia Torres clears her throat. She's the only one in the room not looking at Jake like he's insane. Actually, I think I know what's happening here. We've been analyzing Mr. Morrison's biochemistry. Humans have an unusual trait. We don't produce the standard fear pheromones that most species emit. So? Asks Thress. So, predators like the Razorfang use those pheromones to identify prey. Mr. Morrison doesn't smell like prey. He smells like something else entirely. She pulls up a chart. Additionally, humans have a combination of forward-facing eyes, upright posture, and persistence hunting adaptations. To a Razorfang's instincts, we look like apex predators, but we're not. Thress protests. Dr. Torres smiles. Tell that to the rest of Earth's megafauna. Oh wait, you can't. Humans hunted most of them to extinction. We're endurance pack hunters who figured out tool use. We're not strong or fast, but we're relentless and clever. Sound familiar? The council goes quiet. So when Mr. Morrison didn't run, Torres continues, when he just stood there acting dominant and unbothered. The Razorfang's instincts told it that it had encountered something higher on the food chain. Add in the positive reinforcement of food rewards, and you've got basic pack bonding. Jake raises his hand. So what you're saying is Bitey thinks I'm his pack leader? We're saying Bitey thinks you're either his pack leader or some kind of god, Torres says. The jury's still out. Counselor Thress looks like she needs a drink. Several drinks. This is a diplomatic nightmare. Do you know how many treaties you violated by removing a Razorfang from Krell 9? In my defense, Jake says, I didn't remove him. He snuck aboard. Also, nobody told me about the treaties. Maybe put up a sign or something? There are 17 signs. Yeah, but were any of them in English? The Galactic Council debates for 6 hours. 6 hours of arguing about jurisdiction, precedent, public safety, and whether Jake Morrison is humanity's greatest diplomat or its most dangerous idiot. The vote is split down the middle on that last one. Finally, Counselor Thress addresses Jake one more time. Mr. Morrison, after extensive deliberation, we've decided to allow you to keep your companion under the following conditions. You must register Bitey as an exotic pet. You'll need special permits for every station you visit. Any damage he causes is your financial responsibility, and you must keep him on a leash in public spaces. A leash? Jake looks doubtful. Do you know how big he is? We don't care, figure it out. Also, adds Gerp, still wobbling with indignation, you're now classified as a Class 2 biological hazard yourself. Essentially, you and that creature are a walking disaster scenario. Jake grins. So, we're good to go? Thress waves a dismissive appendage. Yes, go. Please go. We have 37 incident reports to file and I need medication for the stress headache you've given me. 2 weeks later, Jake's back to his normal cargo route. Well, mostly normal. Turns out traveling with a Razorfang has some perks. Nobody cuts him off in traffic lanes anymore. Docking fees are mysteriously waived. Pirates take one look at his ship's biosignature and decide to find easier targets. He's at the Frontier Junction Depot, waiting for his cargo to load, when another ship captain approaches. The guy's keeping his distance, eyeing Bitey nervously. Is that really a Razorfang? The captain asks. Yep, this is Bitey. Bitey, say hi. Bitey lifts one massive claw in what might be a wave. The captain goes pale. How are you not dead? Jake scratches Bitey behind the ear equivalent. Honestly, I think people just overthink things. Most of the galaxy's problems could probably be solved with snacks and basic kindness. The captain backs away slowly. You're insane. Yeah, I get that a lot. As the captain flees, Jake notices the little vest he had custom-made for Bitey. Bright orange, impossible to miss, with big block letters that read, Emotional Support Animal. Below that, in smaller print, Do not pet without permission. All right, buddy, Jake says, standing up. Let's go get you some lunch before we ship out. I saw they've got a food court with that synthetic meat you like. And maybe we'll pick up some tennis balls at the station shop. You need something to chase besides terrified aliens. Bitey makes a happy rumbling sound that registers on seismic equipment 3 levels down. As they walk through the station, Jake remains blissfully unaware of several important facts. Like how insurance companies across the galaxy are rewriting their policies because of him. Or how xenobiology textbooks are being updated with a new chapter titled The Morrison Anomaly. Or how 3 different species have added human with Razorfang to their official threat assessment charts, right between asteroid impact and supernova. He's also unaware that Bitey successfully fetched the tennis ball he threw earlier. The ball was in a sealed cargo container, on a different level, behind a locked door. But hey, he's a good boy. And that's what matters. Jake Morrison, cargo hauler, accidentally the most dangerous human in the galaxy, walks off into the sunset with his 8-foot murder machine trotting happily beside him. Somewhere, Counselor Thress is drinking heavily and updating her resume. And somewhere on Krell 9, the rest of Bitey's pack is very confused about where their alpha went. They'll probably come looking eventually. Jake's gonna need more sandwiches.